For most of my life I said yes to everything, until one tiny no blew up my entire world, in the best way. Today I want to share how that one moment not only saved my mental health, but completely changed the way I relate to stress, anxiety, and other people. If you've ever felt guilty for setting boundaries, or anxious just thinking about disappointing someone, this video is for you. In the next few minutes I'm going to walk you through the real story of the first time I said no without guilt, and what happened next, why it's so hard to say no, especially if you struggle with anxiety or people-pleasing. 3 simple shifts you can use to start saying no without feeling like a terrible person. A new way to think about boundaries. A calm, compassionate no script you can steal. A quick mindfulness exercise to soothe the guilt afterwards. So if you're tired of burning out, resenting your yes, and abandoning yourself to keep the peace, stay with me. Let me start with a confession. I didn't become good at boundaries because I'm enlightened or naturally assertive. I became good at them because not having them almost broke me. For years my default answer was, yeah, sure, of course, no problem. Yeah, I can squeeze that in. On the outside, I looked like the dependable friend or colleague. On the inside, my anxiety was constantly on fire. I would say yes to extra work when I was already exhausted. I would say yes to social events when my body was begging for rest. I would say yes to emotional labor, listening, supporting, fixing, even when I had nothing left to give. And every time I thought about saying no, this voice would show up in my head.
They'll be disappointed. You're being selfish. You're not that busy. You can handle it.
So I pushed myself a little more, and a little more, and a little more, until just being alive started to feel heavy. I was constantly tired. I had that tight feeling in my chest. Sleep didn't feel restful. And the worst part? I was starting to feel resentful and disconnected from the very people I cared about. But I didn't know my lack of boundaries was the problem. I thought I was the problem. Then came the moment that changed everything. One day I got a message call from someone, I'll just call them A, asking me for a favor. It wasn't a small favor. It meant giving up my only free evening that week, sacrificing rest I desperately needed. My automatic reaction was already forming. Yeah, sure, I can make it work. But this time, my body reacted first. My stomach tightened, my chest felt heavy, and this quiet thought appeared in the background.
If you say yes, you will be betraying yourself again.
I wish I could say I immediately listened to that wise inner voice. I didn't. I argued with it. It's not that big a deal. They need you. You don't want them to think you don't care. But underneath all that noise was this deeper exhaustion. I was so tired of abandoning myself. So I did something I had never really done before. I took a breath. I stared at my phone, and I wrote the shortest message I'd ever sent. Hey, I'd love to help, but I can't this week. I need to rest. No elaborate excuse. No detailed justification. Just a simple, honest no. And then, I froze. In my mind, I'd already played out the worst-case scenarios. They'd be angry. They'd call me selfish. They'd pull away. Totally understand. Thanks for letting me know. Take care of yourself. That was it. No drama. No guilt trip. No anger. And I remember just staring at that message, realizing the monster I'd been running from all these years mostly lived in my own head. That one tiny no shook something loose in me. It was the first time I experienced in real life that I could honor my limits and still be a kind, caring person, and people who genuinely care about me could handle it. Part 3. Why saying no feels so terrifying. If saying no is so freeing, why does it feel so terrifying for so many of us? Especially if you deal with anxiety or people-pleasing, your brain often equates no, rejection, no, in conflict, no, I'm a bad friend. Your partner understand. A lot of us grew up learning directly or indirectly that love is something you earn by being useful, helpful, available. Conflict is dangerous. Your needs come last. So when you say no, it doesn't just feel like you're declining a request. It feels like you're risking connection, love, and safety. That's why this work is not just about communication skills, it's about nervous system safety, about teaching your body that you can say no and still be safe, still be loved, still be you. I want to share 3 shifts that grew out of that moment for me that you can start using right away. Shift 1, reframe no as an act of care. Instead of thinking, saying no makes me selfish, try, saying no is how I protect my mental health so I can show up with real presence and love. Every time you say yes while your body is screaming no, you're not giving your best self, you're giving a depleted, resentful version of you. A boundary isn't a wall, it's a fence with a gate. It says, I care about you, and I care about me. Here's how I can be real with both of us. You're not just saying no to them, you're saying yes to your nervous system, your sleep, and your inner peace. Shift 2. Use a gentle, honest no. Script. A lot of guilt comes from over-explaining. We write long paragraphs trying to prove our no is justified. You don't need a legal case. Here's a simple script you can borrow. Thank you for thinking of me. I can't take this on right now, but I really appreciate you asking. Or, I'd love to support, but my plate is full and I don't have the capacity to do this well. Notice a few things. You're kind, honest, and clear. And you're not apologizing for existing. You don't have to say, I'm so sorry, I'm the worst. You can be respectful and rooted at the same time. Shift 3. A 30-second mindfulness reset for guilt. Even with new scripts, guilt will show up. That's okay. Guilt is just your nervous system adjusting to a new pattern. Here's a 30-second practice for after you say no. Place a hand on your chest or stomach. Feel the contact. This signals safety to your body. Take a slow breath in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for 2. Exhale gently through your mouth for a count of 6. Silently say to yourself, it's safe for me to have limits. I can care about others and myself. Notice any tension in your jaw, shoulders, or belly. With each exhale, imagine softening that area by just 5%. You're not trying to fight the guilt, you're just sitting beside it, breathing with it, and gently teaching your body a new truth. Over time, that wave of guilt becomes smaller, and a new feeling grows. Quiet self-respect. That one tiny no didn't magically fix my life overnight, but it opened a door. It showed me that my mental health matters. My boundaries are not a burden. The people who truly care about me can hear no and still love me. If any part of my story today felt familiar, I want you to remember this. You are not selfish for having limits. You are human, and your no might be the very thing that protects your peace, your energy, and your ability to love. If you'd like more tools for anxiety, boundaries, and emotional well-being, subscribe to my Ataraxia and let me know in the comments, what's one situation in your life right now where you wish you could say no without guilt? Thank you for being here, for taking care of your mind and your heart. I'm proud of you for even thinking about boundaries. That alone is a powerful first step.